Hello. It's Thursday. Yeah. Yeah. Wednesday. Crap. I need to check my... No, it's Thursday. I just capped my Valor, so I was like, oh my god, did I do it on a Wednesday? No, I did it on Thursday, as per usual. I had to run some more scenarios because I'm not doing the Klexi dailies anymore, but whatever. That's that. But I'm not doing the Klexi dailies anymore, but I have another thing for Raid Finder. It all balances out in the end, to an extent. Anyways, so, yeah, I've noticed that some people like that I've been reading on comments in other videos, ones that, post to my feed and stuff, and that people love to use sarcasm a lot more than they should. Like they're cool or something. I don't know. I don't really, it just seems like a level of insincerity that it seems to be running rampant. Because if they can't be serious about anything they're saying, what do they expect people to believe? If that makes any sense. So, I mean, there's all that happy jazz. But, and it's like, I had someone a couple years ago that was like, "Bagargle," and they said something sarcastic. I didn't see it. I didn't get it. It sounded very plausible to me, actually. So I asked him a question about it, and they kept being sarcastic, and I kept asking questions. And eventually they were just like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm asking questions about this topic that you and I were talking about." And they're like, "I was being sarcastic," and then they act offended. I was like, "Wait, what did you think we were doing?" And then they get all confused that they don't actually know what was going on. They were just talking. It kind of bothers me after a while when I see people do that. And they're... But it seems to be, I can't really figure out if it's just the way these people grew up or if it's a defense reaction, defense mechanism or whatever. I don't know, but that's what that seems all funny about. Yeah, I had to revise the plans with Mom because I was like, "Hey, I'll come over Saturday, mow your lawn." And then I had this nagging thing in my brain. I was like, no, scheduling conflict, scheduling conflict, scheduling conflict. And it had been bugging me for, I don't know, 15 minutes? Just scheduling conflict, scheduling conflict. It felt like there was a DVR in my head that just kept announcing scheduling conflict. And I finally, click, what? And they're like, "You have Firelands at 4 o'clock on Saturday." I'm like, right, okay. So I went and checked the weather report, and I realized that Friday is going to be a dry day also. So I'm going over to her place on Friday, which is still fine. I was like, actually, I had that nagging scheduling, and I told her all about it. She's like, "Oh yeah, well, Friday's fine. Make sure you just come over before I go to Pinochle." I'm like, okay. So, yeah. So that's what's going on with me. She has a little tiny empty lot next to her, so I'm going to go out there and maybe walk the dog. No, I don't think I'd walk the dog. The dog's too small. I get lost in the field even on a leash. So I think I'm just going to walk out there after a little bit and see if I can find some rucks, because she kind of lives more in a floodplain. So there's a lot more interesting rocks that have washed down from the river. And we'll go with that. The river. Anyway, so yeah. I pretty much determined that one is quartzite. It's just, yeah. So, that's why I haven't remade the geology one. I was probably going to do that. Well, I was going to do it Friday. Well, I don't know. I'll probably make it next Monday. Make sure I clean the rocks that I get, depending on however many I get. Don't want to get any more rhyolitic pandesite stuff. Or more quartzite. Stuff is all over around here. So, yeah, my ex is on the East Coast. And he's posting to Facebook that it's freezing. And I'm like, dude, it's a nor'easter. I envy you. I'm a weather nut. I wish I could have been there. I'm probably one of the people, you know, I'm not a storm chaser. I just want to experience it once. You know, I want to go see what's the deal with being in a hurricane, and what's the deal with being in something, you know, in a nor'easter. What's it like being close to tornadoes when the sirens blare? You know, I probably have meltdowns left and right, but, you know, after the fact, I can just sort of come back and be like, yep, that's what that's like. And now I know when people, you know, when I see people on television and they're crying because their house got destroyed and there's so much destruction everywhere, I can understand what that means. Because, you know, the last major event we had around here that caused any major damage was an earthquake. And that barely did anything. It was 5.4 on the Richter scale. I mean, there was another one closer by, but it didn't affect us here because it was too far away. We felt it a little bit, but we only felt like. And I was on the third floor of a Victorian house at the time, so it really felt bigger than it actually was. But it was really just like, you know, goes a little earthquake machine, and they're just like, whole lot of shaking going on, and they're like, what am I feeling right now? And you look down at the thing, they're like, you're feeling a 4.0. And you're like, this is just a vigorous massage. Yeah, well. So, I'm just running around on my shaman, not doing much of anything. Got news coming up here soon. Ew. Had some pretty nasty coffee this morning. Had some white tea, mango, something. And I left like that little bit in the bottom of my cup. So, like that big around, that deep. And then I poured coffee on top of it. So it was like this weird white tea, bitter mango peach. Piping hot coffee. It was, ugh. I choked it down because I wasn't going to let all that coffee go away. But don't ever mix white tea and coffee. If you see an energy drink out there that's like white tea and coffee, you tell that store to unstock that immediately and throw it into the, you know, and give it to the FCC. It is terrible. FCC. FDA. But yeah, so world news. Apparently Boehner's supposed to be doing an interview tonight. Yay! You know, I ain't anywhere close to Republican, but I just like the fact that he is currently the most prominent Republican in the country. Since pretty much Mitt Romney wandered through up until the primary, you know, up through primaries and debates and pretty much smacked down all the rest of the candidates. And he's just like, boom, nope, boom. And they just kept falling like flies. And then at times, the time comes for him, and it wasn't even like a hard-fought battle, or, he won the popular vote, but he didn't actually win the electoral. No. He didn't win the popular vote, and he was nowhere close. Considering how many actual electoral votes there were. There was like 509 was what the tally was added up to, because it was 303 and 206, so that's 509. And you're looking at 1/5. 1/5 when dealing with that many electoral votes is a big deal. We're looking at, you have a difference of almost 100. I look back at previous ones that were like narrow margins, and it was like tooth and nail all the way up to Florida or Ohio, or there wasn't, and it wasn't what would be politically dubbed a landslide, but it was pretty much a landslide. The electoral votes hadn't even come in, and I was like, he's lost. And one of my friends was like, so why do you think he lost? I'm like, his running mate's home state went to Obama. Mitt Romney's birth home state went to Obama. And Mitt Romney's home state that he was a governor of went to Obama. That's like the Death Star voting against the Emperor. Yeah. So, I'm going to be talking a little bit about politics and whatever as things progress, but I'm not going to be like, people are like, leave it alone on the Facebook. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to post anything to Facebook. I'm sure going to talk about it on my blog, because that doesn't go out to everyone. It technically does go out to everyone, but, it's not like the Facebook feed that you're forced to read it because it's on your Facebook feed. If you don't want to watch it, you don't want to listen to it, you don't want to listen to it. So, So yeah, I finally finished all the pizza that I ordered the other day. That pizza place puts a lot of jalapenos on their pizza. Pepperoni, pineapple, black olive, and jalapeno. That is a pizza of many tastes. They put a lot of jalapenos on there. Not a lot of black olive, a lot of jalapenos. And I'm thinking they put a lot of jalapenos on there for the same reason that when someone asks for onions on their burritos at Taco Bell, we put a lot of onions on their burritos. Sorry about that being loud all of a sudden, but it's true. You're supposed to use this when portioning the onions. There's like bloop, there's the beans, and then here's the little ladle, there's the red sauce. This is for cheese. You reach inside, you pick it up, and you throw it down, and you reach in the onions, put them down. They're like, can I get onions on my burrito? And we're like, thud. There was as many onions on that burrito as there was, beans. So you get a bean-onion mix. Some people were just absolutely ecstatic. Like, well, sir, so many people were against using beans or against using onions because they wanted us to freshly make it. And I've still heard people do it. I've been in line and I've heard over their little speaker, can I get a bean burrito, no onions? One, there is not enough onions in there to care about. Unless you are deathly allergic, and there isn't that many people in this country deathly allergic to onions. Two, there's just, so many people actually do it that if you're worried that if you modify the order, bean burrito, no onions, that they have to freshly make it because they don't have any on stock, so many people order it that they probably got them in stock. Honestly, the best way to get freshly made food at Taco Bell is to order it. Don't try to get it specialized. Well, the bean burritos, tacos. What are you gonna take off a taco? You're a taco, no shell. Get out of here. No. I had that once. They wanted a taco, no shell. And I just like pulled off it was graveyard shift. And they're like, can I get 5 soft tacos, no tortilla? And I just like pulled off my headset, threw it up in the air, and, and just walked over to my manager and went, could you please take this? She's like, okay. I'm like, I just had that little bit of moment, it was the end of the drunk crush, so, yeah. She's like, hello, sir, how can I help you? And he said his order, and she just looks at me, and I'm like, I don't do a shit-eating grin very well, but I do that sort of like, your fault now. Yeah, so, yeah, there's all that stuff. And she wound up saying, sir, we can't do that. You take off anything else, but that's sort of like, going to a restaurant and ordering like a salad, no bowl. They can't do it. Well, they could probably put it on a plate, but, some salads don't go good on plates. Whatever. So, I just rambled. So, yeah. I've pretty much come to the end of talking about nothing but my weird experiences at Taco Bell. Yeah, so still sort of drinking coffee. I'm not going to order any food because, well, I just ate like 3 days worth of pizza. Well, 2 days. Should have been 3. I didn't have anything Monday, but I would have like PB&J's or chili or something from the house. Man, that pizza was big. Did not realize. So yeah, I'll catch y'all later. The video tomorrow might actually be from Mom's house. I'm not sure. We'll probably get to see more of the stupid cat. So, there's that.